And welcome back. It's time once again for book club, and our friend Conrad Stump is joining me here from the Springfield Greene County Library. Conrad, how are you?
I am amazing. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
Okay, so you brought me 3 books today.
I sure
Walk
did.
me through them.
Yeah, so the first one is called The Rule of Three by E.G. Scott.
Okay.
So this comes out next week from Dudden Books.
Okay.
And it has a really great setup. So it's sort of like a suspenseful mystery. And so basically in this like super exclusive gated community, these 3 women get together every week to have their book club while their husbands get together to play poker. Well, the book opens with a frantic 911 call from one of the wives.
Of course.
One of the husbands has been murdered.
Oh my gosh.
Right, so the suspense is just like ratcheted up to 100 immediately.
Okay.
Which is super exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conrad, what is your interest with these like crazy like horror novels? Because that's what you always bring us.
Yes, yeah, and I mean, it's more thriller, so it doesn't
Okay.
have like a supernatural element or anything.
Okay.
But it is scary from the standpoint of like, you know, stuff is happening.
Okay.
People are doing things.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's really it's thrilling to be thrilled when like in real life you don't want that. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's super valid.
Yeah, you can sort of explore those things without having to like, you
Yes.
know, be involved in some
Yes.
crazy sort of plot
Yes.
of your own. You can just be like at home reading.
Yes,
so,
be an outsider.
so
in the
that's the
situation.
appeal. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Now, what do you think people will love most about this book?
I think that the tension, because it's like flashbacks and different perspectives, and so it's like slowly unfolds the backstory and sort of keeps you guessing about what's to come and keeps you turning those pages.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like things bubbling up to the surface in this community. So you just learn things, and every chapter is sort of like a cliffhanger.
Okay.
So it's thrill ride.
Okay, and then the second book.
Yes, so this is called Delphi by Claire Pollard, and this just came out yesterday from Avid Reader Press, and
Okay.
so they do a bunch of like smart, funny fiction, so I'm really loving them for that. And so this follows a classics academic in London, just as the COVID-19 lockdowns happen. And so she's been working on this book about like ancient Greek prophecy. And now she's finding it really hard to know what the future is going to hold for her. So
Right.
there's some humor there with like, you know,
Okay.
she's studying prophecy, can't prophesize what the future is
Yeah.
because this pandemic has just hit and
Yes.
life is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of the setup of that one.
I'm curious with that. So like for me, when I'm like any shows that involve COVID, I kind of, it's not that I steer away from them, but I'm like, I just live that reality.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on that with reading? Because it's pretty similar in that way.
Yeah, it depends, and I feel like, you know, reading is a little bit safer space than a show because you can sort of like put it down if you want to, come back to it. You can do that with a show, but
Yeah.
it's, you know, more concise, and so like it provides you a space to explore that, which I like. And I think what's appealing about this book especially is that there's a lot to relate to. And so
Okay.
there's humor in that relatability,
Yeah.
right? You're like, oh, I understand these feelings that she's having, you know, of like interacting with people and being like, maybe I didn't miss that as much as I,
Yeah.
as I thought I might.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of humor in the relatability. So having that sort of frame of reference of having gone through this, I think
Yes.
it adds to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what's something that like may surprise readers without giving anything away?
Yeah, so just sort of I think the philosophical aspect of the book, right? Because there's a lot of questioning about the future and like why we want to know about it and what our ancestors wanted to know. And so I think it's, you know, just a matter of like thinking about what we know, what we can't know, and how our hopes for the future sort of pull us through a difficult present.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Now,
Yeah.
the final book you brought for me today.
Yes, yes. So this is a little bit in the horror thriller realm. So
Okay.
it's kind of part crime fiction, part supernatural thriller, but it is The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. And this also just came out yesterday from Mulholland Books.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be really big this summer because
Yes.
Iglesias was just profiled in the New York Times, and this book was chosen as the Book of the Month Club's August pick.
Okay.
So a bunch of like book clubs are going to get it, and it's just going to get a bunch of
Yeah.
attention, which
Okay.
is really exciting. And so basically, it follows this guy Mario, whose daughter is diagnosed with cancer, and you know, as his life starts to unravel, he becomes more and more desperate,
Yes.
and he takes work as a contract killer.
Of course,
Of
because why
course,
not? Yeah.
And so this job comes his way, this huge huge job, and it can either end up with him getting like 200K,
Yes.
or him getting killed.
Okay.
And so that journey is going to take him, on this kind of path where he's going to run into some monstrous men, but also maybe some monsters.
Okay,
So
very
there is
enticing.
a supernatural element. Yeah.
All right, well, all these books are great, and I love that they're all brand new, and I hope this last
Yeah.
one gets all the hype that it
Yeah,
naturally
me
deserves.
too.
So remind people where they can find the library online.
Yes, so you can go to thelibrary.org, you can see the catalog, you can get ebooks, audiobooks, and you can find out about all the programs and services going on at the library.
All right, Conrad, thank you. It's always such a pleasure
Yeah,
having you on
thank
Ozarks
you.
Live. All right, well, coming up, a local band joins us for a live in-studio performance that you won't want to miss. We'll be right back.